So, good evening. Good evening. It wasn't a good evening. It was a poor evening, but we kind of got out of jail. We got a 2-1. We got an away goal, both down to 10 men. And I suppose it's still advantage Villarreal in the second leg because they're still winning the tie. But to get an away goal was crucial. It was critical. The performances tonight, some of them were shocking, and we're going to get through this. Kenny, player ratings. Let's just start with Leno. To be fair to Leno, yeah, he made two top class saves tonight. What did you make of him overall, mate?
He had to redeem himself for this shocking mistake against Everton. But for me, I'm going to give him a 7 because simple reason is that in a game like this, where your team's under pressure and mistakes being made, you really we need to step up, make saves, a very important one, especially the second half from Moreno. Seven's a good 7 for me. Match saver. He actually kept us in the tie and gave
He
us a chance
did.
to get in the
Yeah.
final.
No, he did. He made some really good saves tonight. And listen, he's been hit and miss all season. It's a bit iffy. But let's move to right back. Let's go with Callum Chambers.
I've got a lot of time and respect for Callum Chambers because he's actually given us something that Bellerin has never given us, and it just shows you really and truly is that the penny has dropped with Arteta in that respect. And I give it to that is that Bellerin taking us forward. What Callum did is he tried to stretch the Villarreal defence, and I'm going to give Callum a 6. Never not tries. And what's happening? He's up for every game. Maybe because he's been injured for a time. He's been on loan for a couple of times in Middlesbrough first and Fulham. Maybe the chance of playing for the football club really elevates his attitude and performance. But 6 is all he's going to get.
Let's move to the opposite side. Obviously, Granit Xhaka. He's not a left back. He's played there, 5-6 times this season in a row, pretty much. First 30 minutes, he got run ragged. After that, I actually thought he'd done all right. But obviously, we were 2-0 down real quick. Thomas Partey was at fault. We'll come to him for the second goal. But for the first goal, I feel like Granit could have done more. But he was up against a tricky customer. What did you make of him overall over the 90 minutes? He kind of grew into the game.
I think with Granit Xhaka is that he deserved some criticism because even though he plays at left back and he's not proper left back, you can't excuse the fact that Chukwueze is a left player. You don't let him get in the box because you let him get in the box, even if you tackle him or get a foot in, if the ball breaks free and you're not in control, then what's happened? It'll break to a marauding midfielder, attacking midfielder, or a forward, and then you put your other midfielder under pressure. I'm sorry, but in terms of second half, when we needed him, he kind of worked Chukwueze out, and he actually tried to get Chukwueze on his right foot. And even when he tried coming his left foot, he just solid. So for me, I've got to give Granit a 5, but it could have been worse.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse. Let's go to centre back pairing. Let's go with Rob Holding.
Pathetic, unforgivable. Second goal, he knows the score. Win the header, and then when you win the header, do not flick it on. You just don't flick it on. Everyone knows it. The minute you do a flick on, that means that the spare man is going to score the goal because simple reasons that you can't defend with your back to goal and on the back foot. You just can't because you're never going to be the favourite there. So I'm sorry, that's a 4 for neglect. And he was giving away some stupid fouls as well. He really struggled out there today.
Yeah, he did. Let's move to Pablo Mari. I thought he was the better of the pair, and I don't dislike Mari. I think he's actually had some great performances this season. Tonight wasn't one of them, but I don't think he was our worst player. I don't think he was our worst centre back. I think Holden was a lot worse. But what do you think?
I think Pablo Mari, he's an honest player. He's nothing spectacular, and at the moment he's a steady Eddie. He doesn't really give us what David Luiz gives us in terms of leadership and the ability to run him without the ball and actually be a menace in the attack. like I said, the opposition's defending area. But for me, I'll give him a 6 because I think, you know what, he was more calmer when there was chaos.
No, I agree. Midfield, we went with Thomas Partey. Claude's last fan cam on this channel, Kenny, here, was Thomas Partey shooting would be better off at Twickenham. I think we see that again tonight, didn't we?
I think the thing with Thomas Partey is you're seeing like the good, bad, and ugly. Like the good was the chance he created for Aubameyang in the 94th, 95th minute.
Yeah, that was a great pass.
But then what's happened is that the good was probably the perseverance when he was basically left to do two people's jobs, even after the sending off. But really and truly, for the goals, he was neglectful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the second goal. I don't know what he was doing. Like, man was ball watching. Yeah, because I know Holding. You said about Holding, but Thomas Partey was marking that guy, Albiol. Yeah, and it was just like, oh my God, how have you just let him run off the back of you? You don't know where he is.
Yeah, I think that's the thing about Thomas Partey as well, is that he has to anticipate danger. He has to assume that Holding is going to make a mess of it, and he has to be able to get Holding out of trouble. That's called partnership. And even for the first goal, he was trying to get back. He wasn't tight enough onto Ceballos. But really and truly, I'll give him a 5 because I think what's happened is that in the circumstances, he actually did get a little bit better, and he did give us something positive, and he actually created our only chance from open play. But I'm scratching really.
Let's move to Danny Ceballos. Obviously, he got a second yellow card in the second half. First half, like, mate, how we never took this guy off in the first half, let alone at half time or before he got sent off, was a madness. What did you make of it overall?
Not out of 10. Not out of 10. Sorry.
Yeah, we'll move on real quick.
It's a liability, and it's not the first time he's done it. And he wasn't really given as much in the sort of offensive areas as well. But as in the job that he was asked to do, he got Hoyf took the piss out of him, and the fact that he got himself booked by when Hoyf sprinted past him says it all, mate. 0 out of 10.
Let's move on to Martin Odegaard. He's obviously on loan. There's been a lot of hype around the kid. I haven't really got the hype, if I'm honest, Kenny. Like, tonight, I feel like the game just passed him by. Like, there was some nice little touches. He tried to drive forward, but I don't feel like he impacted the game that well.
Well, the thing with Martin Odegaard as well, people, compare him favourably to Mesut Ozil in terms of he gives us the work rate. But really and truly, he's not the sort of player that if he doesn't play, you'll miss him. You admire the fact that there is a player there. There's going to be good skills, but really, truly, the hustle and bustle when you're in the trenches, he's willing to work hard. But really, truly, he gave us nothing to do. Give him a 4. It really wasn't a good performance.
Let's move on to Nicola Pepe.
Nicola really was given a short straw, but he really showed up. He got the penalty. He was winning fouls, trying to get him beyond. I thought Nicola Pepe was probably our best player today. I'll give him a 7.
Let's go to Emil Smith-Rowe.
Emil worked his nuts off. He never stopped trying. He never stopped trying to make things happen. So he'll get a 6 from me.
And let's go after that. We went with Bukayo Saka.
But Bukayo Saka, he is our match winner because the manager places so much emphasis on him. He's running record. I'll give him a 6 as well. I thought what's happening is he did get us back in the game, winning a penalty, bit of shithousery. And really and truly as well, is that he took players out of the game. And he was probably the most foul player today. So that shows that he was causing havoc to the Villarreal defence.
Let's go with the substitutes. Obviously, we brought on Martinelli kind of early for a Mikel Arteta substitute, a lot earlier than I thought it would be. I don't feel like he really had an impact. And the father-in-law said that when we brought him on, we were 2-0 down to 10 men. He said it's like feeding him to the lions. Like literally, you're throwing him out there and just saying, "I showed some love by putting him on." What did you think of that?
Well, the thing about it is that you've got to give the guy a little bit of credit, because what he did is that, even though it was a losing cause, and it proved to be that, what he did is that he got Villarreal worried, because they thought, oh shit, if Pepe and Saka actually do put crosses in, then we've got to be extra vigilant, because we've got someone who can get behind us. And what he did is that he did his job where he pushed Villarreal back. He made them a situation where they couldn't play the high line, because what's happening is that we could get behind them. And so I'm going to give him a 5 for this endeavour. Didn't really get himself into goal scoring positions or even have a shot on goal, but what he did is he actually gave us a pathway back into the tie.
Yeah. We obviously made quick substitutions that were kind of late in the game. We went with Mohamed El Neni.
Well, Mohamed, yeah, he is what he is. He's the sort of person, if you go up to him and say, Mohamed, can you build me a wall? He'll build you a wall. But if you ask Mohamed if you do something like complicated or design something, he'll probably would do his best, but it's not really what you need. But for me, I'll give Mohamed a 5. You know,
Let's go next with Willian.
well, you know, he
didn't really have an opportunity, really, if we're being honest. He had a corner, and that was about it.
Four.
Let's go with Bamiyang.
Well, Bandman got a chance to make himself a hero and get a higher mark, because he was brought on for that thing to get a chance. And he scored so many goals throughout his career, and a lot of the goals where he'd be off balance, where he'll put away. But today
he slipped as he hit that shot, though, didn't he?
Yeah,
like if he hadn't slipped, I feel like he might have scored it.
Maybe he might have dinked it a bit, but even when he slips, and he's playing well, he scores those. But
yeah,
again, it's his pace. Of course, a bit problem. I'll give him a 5. You know what I mean? Because he had again. I like panic. I like my forwards to create panic, but really and truly, players like Martinelli, Aubameyang, and certain extent Lacazette is probably the only one who, in spite of, who's actually managed to make ends meet out of Mikel's tactics. I think our strikers will struggle under this manager, and maybe I should give them more slack. Cut more slack.
Let's move on to the manager. 2-0 down real quick, down to 10 men. I suppose when you look at that scenario, you're 2-0 down away against the guy that you have replaced, against a team that are not as good as your team. You're then down to 10 men, and you end up getting out of jail, and you end up with a 2-1 and down to 10-10. Kind of got out of jail tonight, because I think he mismanaged that from the get-go. Starting 11 was a disgrace. The man management, the players, the subs. I just think he completely cocked it up, and I personally think he got out of jail tonight. What did you make of it?
Well, the thing about it is that if you sort of rewind back to a game we had in Sheffield under Unai Emery's tenure, when we lost 1-0, we lost 1-0 in Sheffield United, that is, and Unai Emery got lambasted because we didn't create a chance of any sort. Well, this was worse. To give Mikel anything more than 1 out of 10 would be completely generous, because really and truly we got a chance the second leg in spite of this manager, because this manager did his best to actually cock up the semi-final, and he did his best to actually make this season and the relevance in terms of like any ambitions we have on doing anything. So to give him anything more than 1 out of 10 would be an injustice.
Now, Kenny, I appreciate you coming on, man. I know it's late. It's midnight. Yeah, you're sitting on the toilet again.
I don't know. I'll tell you one thing, right? The only thing with toilet that was lavatorial was our performance and the decisions by our manager.
5 o'clock today. Well, it is today now. Yeah, 5 o'clock on Friday. Podcast.
Sharp.
Yeah, well, come on, 5 o'clock sharp. I know you're going to turn up late. I turn up late, but you're late. Yeah, lateness is greatness.
Actually, I've turned up. My my timekeeping has been impeccable in the last couple of weeks.
No, to be fair, you've turned up earlier than you normally do. I can't lie. That's during your final warning.
Yeah, well, like I said,
Kenny, you've always shown me mad love, man. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate it. Listen, we'll be back again. Make sure you go and check out Kenny Ken's Twitter and Insta, Kenny Ken 1972. Man needs a haircut. I see you stroke your hair. I need a haircut as well. Look at the state of this, Kenny. And I cut this about 7 weeks ago myself. I could have done a full Hecky B top knot if I hadn't cut it.
I don't know. Do you remember that 70s group that goes, you know, like Let's Groove? Yeah, I think I look like one of the guys that that 70s group, isn't it? Earth, Wind and Fire.
Earth, Wind and Fire. That's the one.
Yes.
I love you, mate. I bloody love you. Come on, take care, man.